So, welcome everyone to this wonderful Thursday evening. I hope everyone's had a good day. I hope everyone enjoyed their youth day as well. We'll be having a Section 12J webinar, and be with us will be a wonderful company that's in a very interesting industry, but I'll let them speak about it. And Michael will be presenting that side from Gaztron. And then Dave will be speaking about how you can invest your taxes into it. So Michael, the floor is all yours. Please, you can share your screen as I already see you have, and please get going. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending this webinar hosted by Gaztron in partnership with Impact Empowerment Ventures. My name is Michiel Nel, and I represent Gaztron. I will provide you with more information on Gaztron, the business and the investment opportunity in part 1, and Dave from Impact will share detail of the investment structure in part 2. It's no news, but global warming and emissions from both vehicle and trucks and the consumption of energy is a major concern at both an international and a local level. This is also evident in the commitments made by governments and the response by vehicle manufacturers, fuel and oil distributors, and also technology companies. In South Africa, government has pledged commitments in line with international requirements. These stats I've taken from climateactiontracker.org. It shows you quite interesting responses from most of the companies across the world. It is completely possible to immediately improve this response. And this can be done through the use of liquid petroleum or compressed natural gas in current engines, where Gaztron has the sole distribution rights for this advanced technology. Darren and Justin, I'm handing over to you for a moment. Will you please delve into a little bit more of the technical aspects?
All right, thank you, Michiel. So just to give everyone, seeing that we couldn't see the video, a brief overview of the product. I think it's important to understand what this is all about. So what the technology does is it enables your current vehicle, whether it drives on petrol or diesel, and whether it's a bus, a truck, or a passenger vehicle, it doesn't matter. If you install our technology into the vehicle, then the vehicle is actually able to drive on gas as well. So it makes no change to your current petrol or diesel system. It's just an add-on to it, and your vehicle can then run on gas as well. And just to add on that, so why is it beneficial to convert your vehicle to gas? So basically it's cheaper, firstly. So the price of gas is approximately 9 Rand per liter, where the price of petrol and diesel, I'm sure all of you know what that is. Secondly, there's an environmental benefit. So if you stand in front of a gas heater compared to standing in front of an exhaust pipe of your vehicle, you can compare the difference. It's quite significant. Thirdly, there's also, people are generally concerned with the safety of gas, but actually it's safer. So if you look at a lighter, for instance, inside of the lighter is gas. If it was filled with petrol, it would actually not be very safe. It would explode. And then lastly, the performance is actually equal. Or we actually did a test this morning with the car on the dyno, and we found that we got better performance. Back to you, Michiel.
All right, so let's pick it up where you left off. And I actually asked her to join, so I'm not quite sure if she's on the call. A friend told me that as an entrepreneur, you can choose who you work with, and you don't have to work with people that you don't like. In Gaztron, we are very happy that we don't have that problem. We are a team of committed and diverse individuals with skills ranging from racing drivers up to mechanical engineers. As an investor, you can expect Gaztron to deliver between 12 and 15% return per annum during the investment phase. This is possible because of the scalability of the Gaztron business, The current projections are running on a linear basis, but financial projections as a rule don't take into account the impact that innovation and technology can have on business models. And just to make that point quite clear, our rates of return are all based on conservative traditional linear projections. This is possible because of the scalability of the business model and earnings from multiple lines of business, including annuity income. Gaztron will be involved in conversion technology, fuel distribution, setup of local tank manufacturing, fitment and service centers. We are committed to the local economy, the spirit of South African business, and of course the 4 pillars of sustainability. We have identified primary risks that could impact the realizing of the business potential. We are already working on strategies to mitigate the impacts of negative perception, the slow response by vehicle manufacturers, and the limitations of the existing gas infrastructure that you just mentioned a moment ago. And maybe to expand a little bit more to what Justin said, we work in partnership with Ergon, who is an agent that enables the link to gas distributors and fuel companies. In the short term, and also with the proofs of concept that we're running, the ability to apply mobile skids is obviously quite attractive and makes it quite easy to adjust. Part of our initial strategy as well is to target more of the fleet companies, because that in turn gives us the opportunity to install a refilling station on site, and obviously at the same time gradually manage that according to how or based on the routes that these companies travel. As a focus, and I think going forward for the business, we are and will be constantly working on technology that can deliver near zero emissions. With Gaztron and the Prins technology, we expect to revolutionize the automotive landscape. This is done obviously by the conversion of existing engines to consume gas and not petrol and diesel. And as a company, we bridge the gap between the gas retailer, the manufacturer of vehicles, the fleet owner, and the consumer. And that's typically where we target at the moment, specifically on the fleet owners, and obviously in conversation with manufacturers.
Making engines sustainable. That is in our nature. We are the developers of high-quality systems. We design, manufacture, test, and deliver. We train and maintain a global network to guarantee our quality. You want to drive future-proof? Save money? Save the planet? Maintain the power. Go faster. Go further. Make the switch. Your engine is ready. Are you? Prins Alternative Fuel Systems.
Thank you so much for that. And I've only heard wonderful things from this place in the way you want to be revolutionary going forward. Now I'll be handing over to Dave to explain how you as a taxpayer can actually use your taxes to invest. A very bizarre concept, but Dave will explain. Take it away, Dave.
Yes, can you believe it? You can use your taxes to invest in this engineering opportunity. Just with regard to Section 12J, we the fund managers, and Michiel, Justin, Darren, Brunel, and their team at Gaztron are the operators. They are partners. We ensure due diligence, we ensure compliance. We deal with everything that the investor needs to get their tax refund from SARS in order to fund this brilliant opportunity in the private sector. We're a venture capital company. authorized by SARS to take investments from the public. Why do we consider a company like Gaztron on our radar screen? It's as simple as this. We're an African company. Head office is in Botswana, Impact Investment Africa. And we, as Impact Empowerment Ventures, help them raise capital in South Africa through the Section 12J opportunity. Gaztron is an impact type company. They look to generate jobs, create new business owners, and certainly meets many of our new clean energy type power requirements that South Africa is undergoing right now. Carbon taxes are a reality, and I think we're all going to have to come to terms with that in the future. This is our motto. Our founder and chairman, Chris Hart, came up with this motto 3.5 years ago, and it really does typify our investment strategy. We want to make a change. South Africa needs change. The economy is totally devastated, both through COVID, but even prior to that. So we are in an economic crisis. Let's make a difference through funding small businesses. How did we come across Gaztron as one of our investee companies? Well, it's as simple as this. The people, commercial merit, how did we assess that? Their forecasts are looking pretty good. They've already invested a lot of their own money into their operation. And from a commercial return perspective, you heard Michiel talking about 12 to 15% per annum. We're expecting the 15% or more, Michiel, based on the numbers, based on the offtake, based on the potential that we see into the future over the next 5 years, walking this road with you. I think we can safely make an investment commitment around 12 to 17%. So let's do that and exceed it even more. How do we identify risk? That's important, but this is venture capital after all. And investing requires risk mitigation. And we believe as our investment committee, we walk a road with Gaztron and their team, and we'll make sure that we hold them accountable to our investment agreement and our mandate. But really, we're looking forward to this journey. It is exceptionally exciting. The technology, generally speaking, that we look forward to in Impact is appropriate technology for an African solution. And this is European technology going to be implemented in an African context. So we are extremely excited, Justin, Darren, and Michiel and your team, to be partnering with you as a fund manager on your behalf in this space. For those of you that don't understand Section 12J, in a nutshell, whatever you invest in Gaztron share class through us, you can deduct from your taxable income in the same year as this investment. So when you submit your tax returns in July next year, if you're a PAYE type taxpayer, if you're a provisional taxpayer, instead of passing your money on to SARS, this year you're able to invest your tax into Gaztron almost immediately, before October, even in September this year. So yeah, you can deduct it. It's a full write-off. It sounds crazy, but it's been Treasury approved and been going for 11 years already, by the way. It's not brand new. So what makes Impact Empowerment Ventures different? Well, first of all, we don't expect our investors to have R1 million lying around, and the minimum investment is 1 million. So we offer you an option to borrow the money. So if you don't have R1 million taxable income for 1 year, you can partner with somebody else and take your total investment into the R1 million plus. And when you submit your tax refunds, your tax returns individually, your tax refunds will be paid to you individually, and then you pass that on through the loan agreement that you enter into from the lender into the Gaztron share class. So this has to be done before the end of July to qualify for the full tax rebate. How do we do this? Impact Investment Africa has a number of business units. We are actually based in Botswana. Now, I'm part of Impact Empowerment Ventures. Impact Cash Management Funds, Pty Limited, is the lender, and they lend 1 million rand at no interest to the taxpayer who chooses to go into Gaztron. How can they do that? Well, it's simple. Their loan to debt ratio in the loan is very good because you cede as surety your tax refund to the lender. You also cede your share certificate. That's collateralized with the lender, and any dividend stream that comes through will pay down your loan to the lender over the period of the 5 years that you are invested. Key here is that securing deposit. 25,000 Rand is what is expected of you to lay out, actual real money out of your pocket. This year, you sign the commitment to invest. You can enter into a repayment plan with Impact Cash Management Funds, Pty Limited, for the deposit. It's essential that this deposit gets paid in before the end of June, because that's the initiating transaction that SARS requires for a 12J to be started. So I'm happy to go through details there. This is the investor's return that you can expect. The 400,000, if you were a 40% taxpayer, gets paid back to you by SARS when you submit your tax returns, and it gets passed on to Gaztron. As soon as your tax refund comes in, if you're a provisional taxpayer, as soon as you paid in your taxes to the share class, you are automatically a shareholder there to the value of your tax refund into the company through Impact Empowerment Ventures into Gaztron to fund their operations. That's what we're looking to do. Michiel mentioned 12 to 15%. Ladies and gents at Gaztron team, you better outperform that, please. We've got an investor who's committing their taxes to you. Let's make it worth their while. So yeah, this is what's wonderful about Section 12J. Unfortunately, it does come to an end in June 30th. SARS has decided with the Treasury and government to not extend it. So this is your last opportunity to in fact invest into a company like Gaztron. We're focusing on Gaztron today. Phone Michiel if you need any more information from a technical point of view. If you want anything to do with Section 12J, you're welcome to contact me, even directly on my cell phone. Next step, which is really important for you as an investor. This commitment to invest needs to be signed before the 29th of June. You can wait for the 30th, but that's on the weekend, and I think you're going to cut it a bit fine there. Your deposit has to be in Impact's bank account before close of business on the 30th. We will support you in every way required in order to do all your documentation and everything else that might be necessary. Thank you, Tristan. Appreciate that time.
Thank you, Dave, for explaining this confusion of taxes into investments. We will be opening the floor now to everyone to ask questions. And in the meantime, while everyone thinks, I just want to state that I did put on the website, but I'll put it on again, and then you can contact us via that way. There are many ways to contact us and ask us questions about anything. Don't be hesitant. We'll answer any of your questions that you needed. And yeah, but Dave, the only question I have for you, because while we let everyone ponder, is how do partnerships work? Because I understand you can invest as a partnership.
Yes, that's quite correct, Tristan. As I mentioned in the talk, partnerships are important because the minimum investment through 12J is R1 million. So if somebody is working for a company and they are an employee, not a director, not a provisional taxpayer, and they only earn, or they do earn 600,000 Rand per year, they are able to partner with somebody else in their company. And then it could even become like an employee benefit to them, where their taxes will grow over the next 5 years, and it'll be a wonderful extra investment apart from their pension fund that they can draw down on. So they sign a limited Section 12J partnership for the next 5 years.
Thank you for that. And then I know the securing deposit can be paid, it doesn't have to be paid up front, is that correct? Can you just elaborate just on the small information on that, please?
Certainly. Remember, companies can invest, individuals and trusts. Each taxpayer is required to pay 25,000 Rand securing deposit. So if there's a partnership, that's seen as a partnership. So it's one investor, even though there are two taxpayers in that case. The securing deposit is still 25,000 Rand between them. So they don't need to each lay out 25, but then there's an administration fee of 2,500 Rand for putting together this partnership. But that's quite correct, Tristan. The securing deposit must be paid, a portion of it this month. The balance, the lender enters into a repayment plan with the investor.
Okay, thank you. Also, I wanted to mention that we do have various social media platforms to contact us, and please have a look out, please follow us for any information, more webinars and stuff. Oh, we have a question here. How does one pay back the R1 million loan?
All right, let's talk about that. On the one particular slide, which I'm going to call up now, you'll notice the borrower, in this case Gaztron, in fact pays back any loans. It's not the let's have a look there. It's not the investor. The investor has a interest-free loan. What happens at the exit point? In other words, after the 5th year, your loan will be fully repaid by your share certificate that you have ceded to impact investment or cash management funds. So that sits as the collateral and is the only collateral that can be attached from the lender when it comes to paying down any loan portion. So as we said, you've got 400,000, a debt portion of 600 if that's your tax rate. This gets paid down over time by the dividend stream, as well as any borrowings that Gaztron might require will be funded through them, and they would pay the interest on that. So you don't pay any interest, only the qualifying company pays any interest.
And just to follow up with that, I think what would an investor face in terms of risk?
Well, the most important risk is naturally Gaztron underperforming, because this is venture capital. And so I'm not even going to prophesy this, but if they had to go insolvent in the 5 years that we're part of the business, and they are liquidated, then the investors will be paid out whatever the liquidator pays out any creditor. So that gets passed on to the investor. They also then get their 25,000 Rand securing deposit back. So there's virtually no downside, because the taxes are what the investor is passing on. It's a really wonderful opportunity that our team have devised and constructed, and I give great credit to Impact Investment Africa for this particular structure that they put together in order to bring smaller people into this investment for the benefit of the SMEs to grow.
Okay. I see there's a hand up. Michael, you're more than welcome to speak.
Thanks, Tristan. Dave, yeah, I agree with you. We certainly don't want to talk about the downside that is not actually even in the back of our minds. Would you mind expanding on the upside that is also possible? Because we've now dealt with, you essentially get your money back, but what else can you get back should we as Gaztron perform the way we think we will?
Certainly. Well, it's as simple as this. We are funding Gaztron into business. We trust that they grow the business with regard to purchasing of stock. Margins are very important in a business of this nature. Market share is greatly important, and we believe that you'll take market share very quickly as an early entrant into the market. But even more importantly, your business plan that we've had a look at really does look good. So any upside ahead of the 12 to 15% benchmark that you achieve will be passed on to the investor. And that's really where the carrot is, because in 4 years' time, I really believe your returns based on our projections and your projections are going to be wonderful. So it's as simple as that. Anything above 12% is already a good return. It's not guaranteed, but it's our benchmark for you to exceed. Anything above that gives the investor a really healthy return. They do need to pay capital gains tax on that, unfortunately, but welcome to the real world.
Okay, Dave, we've got another question for you. If I'm an employee, do I need to consult with my accountant at the company I work for, or is this totally separate?
No, this is totally separate. Remember, it's got nothing to do with your company unless they choose to use this as a type of employee benefit. So what we do have, certain businesses, their CFO or their founders invested with us a year or 2 years ago. They tested the water and they found that the investment worked. It sounded too good to be true in the beginning. And then they rolled it out to their staff. So that's when your HR and your accountant needs to be part of it. But it's a relationship between you, the investor, and us as the venture capital company. And you do your own tax returns. Whoever does that for you needs to be aware of it, but not your accountant in your office if you work in that case.
Okay. And then I see another question coming through. I'm enjoying this. So during the 5 years, or after the 5 years, do you get anything back, or how does this actual investment work? Can you just give us a brief summary? I know we explained it, but just can you refresh us on that, please, Dave?
Yes, you get your investment back. Hopefully your taxes have grown to the value of the net asset value of the company at that stage. You are able to stay in the company and not sell, not exit, but that will have to be arranged nearer the time, near the end. After, I'd say, 4.5 years, we'd need to know exactly who is wanting to remain as a shareholder. And of course, that's at the prerogative of the operating partner and the founders. So we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. If you do choose to exit, you'll have to pay capital gains tax on the amount that you get back as a result of this investment. Just one point there, Tristan. If for some crazy reason Gaztron isn't able to carry on in business over the next 5 years so that you can exit after the 5th year, and they aren't able to give us a proper return, you don't then need to pay back your SARS refund back to SARS. It is venture capital. They understand we're committing these funds to a startup operation and a small business. So actually, the only time you'll have to pay back your SARS money is if you choose to disinvest within the 5-year period. There will be a recoupment then, but otherwise you never need to pay this tax back.
Oh, brilliant. So what you're effectively saying that the risk is only the 25,000 you have to put back, and after a couple of years, if I understand, you get the securing deposit back after you exit, right?
Yes, that is correct. Your securing deposit gets paid back to you in full.
Also, what I understood on you explaining, so you invest, let's just say, your 400,000 Rand in taxes, because it comes from the million. After 5 years, that 400,000 can grow to 600,000, for example. You get that money, you pay capital gains, and then that money is yours. Am I correct in saying
Correct. It's just under 20%.
that? Okay. Thank you so much, Dave. I don't see any more questions. I hope we answered everyone's questions. If not, please, we would love to clarify on that. But we will be sending out a recording of this to everyone with documents and can fill them in. But please, this does end by the end of June. It's coming to an end. This will be a great opportunity if you miss it, honestly. So, someone asked.
Thank you, Tristan.
Last question.
I'm just worried we might run out of time, Tristan. Are you happy that we've still got a minute or so?
We've got 2 minutes left, so you got a quick answer
Let's go.
now. So what happens to the original tax requirements?
All right, so that doesn't ever have to be paid back to SARS. It's not a recoupment. SARS gives you that back to invest in a venture capital company. Even if the company goes to zero, you never need to pay that back. If you had R1 million of real money and you don't use a lending opportunity that we give, you would invest the full $1 million up front. And then when SARS gives you your tax refund, let's say of 400,000, you keep that. You can do whatever you like with that. You never need to pay that back unless you sell the shares within 5 years. Then SARS will demand that back.
Okay. Thank you. We will be ending now. So if you've got any more further questions, please contact us. You can also contact Gaztron as well for any other information. And thank you so much, everyone, for attending today. It was a really wonderful webinar, and please enjoy the rest. We will also be having another one later on, hosted by Gaztron as well. So brilliant to see their qualifying company. Thank you, everyone. Please enjoy your day and have a wonderful Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.